It's me, MLB. Here is Future, special chapter number 1, and this one is titled First Kiss. Jinny lazily rolled over on her bed and reached for her phone. It was 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and she had just woken up, staring at the ceiling for a bit, trying to decide what to do for the day. Who's calling me on a Sunday? She thought as she picked it up and looked at the screen. Oh, it's Chi. Hey, she said brightly as she answered the call. Hey, you got plans today? He asked bluntly on the other end of the line. No, actually, I was just wondering what to do, she laughed. What about you? You know how I just got my bike license last week? He asked. Yeah? Well, I got a bike. No way, she gasped excitedly, sitting bolt upright in bed. That's so cool. Yeah, it is, he said. She could see the smirk just from his words. I'm going to take you for a ride. I'll be at yours in 20, yeah? Awesome, she squealed. I'll be ready. Chi was now 16 years old, and Jinny was 15 and a half. He was cool, confident, hot, and a bit of a smartass, but he was one of her best friends, and she adored him. Okay, so she had a little crush, whatever. The next 20 minutes saw Jinny furiously throwing clothes around the room as she debated on what to wear, finally settling on some black skin-tight leather pants and her favourite red riot crop top. Perfect, she smirked as she checked herself out in the mirror. Just then her phone dinged and she looked at the screen. It was Soshi. Hey Jinny, he had typed. Want to do some training at mine tonight? Mum asked if you wanted to stay for dinner too. Sure, she sent back. What time? 6 p.m, he asked. Done. See you then, she replied. Dad'll drop me over for sure, and I'll be back from my ride with Chi by then, surely. She checked her watch. Chi should be here soon. She trotted down the stairs to the kitchen. Hey, you said, looking at your girl, all dressed up and ready to go somewhere. You going out? Yeah, Chi's picking me up. He just got a motorbike. I don't think so, young lady, Kiri said sternly, walking around the corner. But Daddy, she pouted, slouching her shoulders and dropping her head back slightly. He's already on his way and he's so excited. I can't let him down. Kiri crossed his arms and shot a look past Jinny to you. You rolled your eyes and smiled. Okay, Kiri said, but I want to have a talk to him before you go anywhere. Yes, of course, Jinny squealed, jumping up and down. Thank you, Daddy, you're the best, she said, jumping into his now open, relaxed arms. Kiri chuckled. You're welcome. Oh, and Soshi's invited me to his for training and dinner. Can I go, please, please, please? She begged. Well, aren't you popular? Kiri mused. Yes, okay. What time? I'll drop you over. Jinny hugged him again. 6 p.m, and thank you so much, Daddy. Just then a motorbike could be heard pulling up in the driveway. He's here! Jinny screamed, letting go of her dad and running for the door. Chi had just pulled up and taken his helmet off, running a hand through his spiky blonde hair to fix it up, and he pulled his best sexy smile as she approached. Oh my god, this is such an awesome looking motorbike, she gasped. What is it? It's a Kawasaki Ninja 250, he said proudly. Chi looked super hot in his all black leather riding gear, and Jinny's heart fluttered slightly from the way he looked at her. You ready to go? He asked eagerly as he handed her a helmet. Not so fast, young man, Kiri said as he approached Chi. What is it, Uncle Kiri? Chi asked, retracting the helmet slightly. Where are you going and what will you be doing? The red-haired spiky hero asked authoritatively. I was just going to take her up to the Milkshake place that's just out of town, then go down the old road to the river and back, Chi said. You ride safe, yes? That's my baby girl you've got on the bike with you. I don't want either of you getting hurt, he said sternly. Yeah, okay, I get it, Uncle. Don't worry, I'll take care of her, he said with a wink to Jinny. She blushed. Why do I feel like this is a date? He hasn't said it's a date, but I'd love for it to be one. Okay, you two have fun and I'll see you in a few hours then, Kiri said with a smile. What time will you be coming back? About 2:30, Chi said. Sounds like he's got it all planned out, Kiri thought. Kiri nodded and gave Jinny one more hug from behind, wrapping an arm around her middle. Be good, he said with a kiss to the top of her head. Always, Daddy, she said, turning to give her dad a grin. Damn, she looks good in those pants, Chi thought, checking Jinny out as she was saying goodbye to her dad. His eyes travelled up to her exposed midriff, her soft-toned waist igniting some desires in him that he didn't know he had. She's pretty hot, he thought, his eyes moving up slowly over her ample chest to her face, immediately being snapped out of his little daydream as Jinny turned to face him. He cleared his throat and handed her the helmet, readjusting himself on the bike as she hopped on behind him. "Wrap your arms around me," he said as she hopped on. She obeyed and she blushed within the helmet. He was enjoying the feeling of her breasts squishing to his back. "Bye, Uncle," he said as he kicked the bike over. "Bye, Daddy," Jinny squealed excitedly. She backed the bike out of the driveway and then they were off. She was a good rider and Jinny felt comfortable immediately with him in charge. Another half hour and they reached the milkshake place on the outskirts of town. She pulled the bike into the small parking lot of the shop and they both hopped off and took their helmets off, walking into the shop and ordering a milkshake each. "I'll pay," Chi said, reaching forward with some money. "Oh, thanks, Chi," Jinny said with a big smile. They sat in a booth and chatted while drinking, occasionally trying each other's milkshakes. Jinny noticed some girls at a table nearby eyeing Chi. She could tell that they had taken a fancy to him, but he didn't notice, or he didn't care. "Hey, do you like anyone?" Jinny asked, swirling the straw around her shake. "Nah," he replied curtly. "You?" Nah," she replied dismissively with a hand wave. She didn't know how to explain to Chi that she thought he was cute, but she also had a thing for Soshi. As bad as it sounded, she was basically waiting to see which of the boys would man up and confess to her and ask her out, and that would make her mind up for her. She didn't like anyone else besides them. The rest of the day was so much fun, and Jinny really enjoyed Chi's company. They got on well. They always had. She caught him a few times checking her out, and that made her happy, but he still hadn't admitted that he liked her like that. Yeah, got plans for tonight?" he asked while they were throwing rocks in the river. "Yeah, I'm going to Soshi's for training and dinner," Jinny replied. Chi grunted in response. "That arsehole, getting in the way again," he growled internally. 2:30 p.m. rolled around, and Chi was pulling up in the driveway. Jinny was sad that it was over so quickly. She'd really enjoyed the morning with him. "Hey, thanks so much for today," she said, hopping off the bike and taking her helmet off to give it to him. Chi hopped off as well and turned to face Jinny, taking his helmet off and placing it on the bike. Jinny was still holding her helmet out to him, waiting for him to take it, when he grabbed her wrist and pulled her towards him. "Chi, what are you—" "I lied," he said, his red orbs burning into her crimson ones. "About what?" she asked nervously. "About not liking anyone," he said, taking the helmet from her hand and pulling her closer. Jinny's heart was racing. Chi was bending his head down towards hers. Instinctively, she stepped closer and tilted her head up, reaching up slightly on tippy toes as his lips met hers. She shut her eyes and melted into him as he wrapped his arms around her and pulled her tight against him, holding her body against his. Chi opened his mouth slightly, and his tongue brushed her lips, so she opened her mouth too. It was a messy, awkward, teeth-clashing, first passionate kiss, but to her it was perfect. Jisuke Bakugou was kissing her. After an intense few minutes, they broke away for air. "Well," Jinny giggled, "that was nice." "Yeah," Chi said with a blush. "I'll, see you at school Monday." Jinny nodded and giggled. "Bye, Chi. Thank you for today." "Yeah, see ya," he said with a cheeky smile. Jinny waved him off as he left and floated to the house. "How was your ride with Chi?" you asked as Jinny walked into the house in a daze. "He kissed me," Jinny squealed incredulously. "Chi kissed you? On the lips?" you gasped. "I owe your daddy $5. "What? You were betting on us?" Jinny laughed. "That's so cheeky." You chuckled and winked. "Well, I'm happy for you, baby girl. You like him, right?" Jinny nodded with a giant grin on her face. "Yeah, I always have, Mummy." You smiled. "He's a good boy. I like him." And that's not all. There is a part 2 coming next Wednesday. I will see you then.